Welcome everyone to our Hatha yoga class. My name is Tammy. Our theme for our class is listening to our voice. So having that awareness in mind and body for ourselves. Beginning our class, we'll have a little stillness. Listen to our breath coming into our center. So coming to the top of our mat, with your ankles, knees, and hips in line with each other, placing one hand onto your heart and one hand onto your belly. And here we feel the rise and fall of our chest and our belly. You may close your eyes. Inhaling to all those corners. Feeling the rise and fall, opening into the sides of your body, opening into the back of your body. This may be the first time that you've been able to experience some stillness throughout your day. So coming back into yourself, coming back to feel not only the physical body, but becoming aware of how you're feeling emotionally, spiritually. Letting the world silence around you. Feel the opening. You practice a Ujjayi breath, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. The Ujjayi breath we practice in Hatha, it is a yang breath, so it's a stronger breath. You may open your eyes. You may release your hands away to the sides of the body, engaging our energy locks, bandhas. So here, when we stand tall, draw your navel in towards your spine, lifting up through the pelvic floor muscles. Feel yourself rooted down in towards the ground with our toes pointing forward. Arms by the side of the body, and then we turn our thumbs towards the front. Notice if your chin is jutting forward, and then just tucking it in, becoming aware of how your physical body is. And then letting yourself be strong and present into our warm-up Namaskara A, Sun Salutation A. Inhale, drawing the arms up overhead. Taking everything in, and then exhale, releasing and letting go, fold forward, and our head hangs. Inhale, coming up to halfway, a flat back. You can take your elbows out to the sides. Exhale, take your hands down towards the ground and step back with the right foot, left foot, and hold plank here. We hold a plank. We grip the mat with our finger pads to help take pressure off of the wrists. Engage your energy lock, so your bandha, draw the navel in towards the spine. When we lower ourselves towards the floor, jut the body forward. It helps take pressure off the shoulders. Then you come down to the knees, if you like. Tuck your elbows in and lower the body in towards the ground. Uncurl the toes. Into up dog, so elbows hug the waist. Inhale, coming into up dog, pubic bone down. Draw your navel in. Exhale to downward facing dog. Draw the hips right up towards the sky. into our upside down V. Don't worry about your heels coming down towards the ground. You may alternate knee bends and one heel at a time coming down towards the ground. Hear your breath. And everyone bend through the knees, look to the hands, and walk your feet to the top of your mat with ankles, knees, hips in line with each other. Inhale, come up to halfway with our flat back. Bend the knees enough to help keep the back flat. Exhale, release, let your head hang. Inhale all the way up, draw the arms up overhead. And exhale, hands to the heart center. Wonderful. Take your arms by the side of the body and just round through the shoulders, round and back. We open up. Alternating cross of your arms. It's one arm in front and release, and then the other arm in front and release. One more time for each side. And release. Bring your shoulders up, back, and then down. Try that again. Bring your shoulders up, back, and down. One more time. We bring our shoulders up, back, and down. Stand tall. Namaskara A again. So standing tall, you may bring your big toes together now. We'll move through Namaskara A just a little bit quicker here. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead and hear your voice. Stand tall. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift, and we come to a flat back. Exhale to plank. Chaturanga, jutting the body forward, come down to the knees and draw your body in towards the ground. Inhale to up dog, so uncurl those toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, ankles, knees, hips in line with each other. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, breath, bend through the knees, look to the hands and walk your feet to the top of the mat. Ankles, knees, hips in line with each other or big toes touch. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, release, fold, head hangs. And inhale, coming all the way up and taking everything in that is good for you. Exhale, releasing everything that does not serve you. One more time through. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift with our flat back. Exhale to plank. Chaturanga, jutting the body forward. You may come down to the knees or lower. Inhale to up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, we hold. Exhale. Inhale, lengthening through your spine, turning your shoulders down. Exhale, draw the heels a little bit closer towards the ground. Inhale. Now the exhale breath, bending through the knees. Look to your hands, walk your feet to the top of the mat. Big toes may touch. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, release, fold. Inhale all the way up and arms coming overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Lovely. Into fierce pose. So big toes, you may bring them together, a little bit more balance awareness. And into fierce pose, it's a squat. We draw, sit down, as if you're sitting down into the chair. Your arms may be overhead, or they could be at your heart center. Checking that the knees are not passing your toes. So sit that bottom back. This is fierce pose, Utkatasana, with an inhale, coming all the way up. And exhale, release. We'll move through Namaskara B with our fierce pose with a nice big inhale breath. Stand tall, draw your arms up overhead. You can have a little back bend here now. Exhale, dive forward, open up to the front of the body. Inhale, coming up to flat back, and then exhale. Let's release here and let the head hang. I'm so sorry. We were going into Namaskar B and I just went into only Namaskar A. So we'll try that again. So just let yourself hang. Now inhale, come up to halfway, then flat back. Exhale, release, fold. Coming all the way back up. Inhale, draw your arms up overhead. And exhale, that's your center. Okay, let's try it again. Our first part of Namaskar B is our squat. Inhale to squat, Utkatasana. And then exhale, come up and dive forward. Here we go, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, come up to halfway. Exhale to plank. Jet the body forward and we come down in towards the ground, fold. Inhale to up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Adding on here, inhale, it is three-legged lunge. So we have three-legged downward facing dog. We have our right leg lifts, three-legged dog. Exhale, step between your hands. Inhale, coming up to a high lunge. So arms overhead if that's what you choose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, three-legged dog, left leg lifts. Exhale, step between your hands. Inhale, coming up to a high lunge. Push your right heel back to make it stronger. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, hold. Exhale, hold. Inhale. Exhale, gripping the mat with your finger pads. With the exhale breath, bend through the knees, walk, step, or jump your feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release, fold. Inhale to squat, here's pose. And then exhale, coming all the way up and arms wrap the opposite way, enhance your heart center. One more time through, inhale to squat. Exhale, coming up and dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale to plank, chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, three-legged dog, right leg lifts. Exhale, step between your hands. Inhale, high lunge, push your left heel back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, three-legged lunge, left leg lifts. Exhale, step between your hands. Inhale, high lunge. And now exhale, downward facing dog. We hold and breathe. Are you still able to hear your breath? Exhale breath, bend through the knees, look to the hands and walk your feet top of the mat. Big toes touch. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, release, fold. Inhale to fierce pose. And exhale, inhale, coming up. Exhale, wrap your hands opposite way. Lovely. Okay, have your hands, place them onto your hips. If your ankles, knees, hips are not in line with each other, you may bend through the knees and then do a step or jump out, ankles, knees, hips in line here. Shift through our hips. And again, listening to our own voice, our soul, becoming aware of how we're feeling, not only physically, emotionally, spiritually. Bending through the knees, big step back. We move into triangle pose. So big step back, turning on the ball of the foot. Our heels are lined up with each other or the front heel with the back arch. The left leg, it could be straight or the knee is bent. Just looking at that left knee, it is pointing straight ahead. So that is where your tracking is, going straight ahead, not letting it turn in. Stand root yourself in towards the ground. Inhale, take your arms up and then jut the body forward. Exhale, rotate your body and come down. Now, where does this hand go? It may be placed on your shin, ankle, floor. You could place it on a block if you want to use a block, a stool, anything, a ledge. Our waist is long, both sides of the waist, nice and long. You can turn your head so your dress shoes at your right thumb. Inhale breath, make your way back up. Exhale, bend through the knees and step right in to the left at the top of the mat. Into our other side. Now I will just go to the other side so that you can see. Bending through the knees, we step back with our left foot, that big lunge again, and then turn on the ball of the foot. One leg distance between your heels. Inhale, sweep your arms up, jut the body forward. Exhale, rotate your body, and then come down. Again, where would you like your hand? You may turn your head and your dress shoes at your left thumb. Shooting the energy out through your left fingers. We are strong. Inhale, breath, make your way up. So turn your head and then coming up. Exhale, bend through the knees and step left to the right and at the top of the mat. At the top of the mat, we move into Warrior A and then Warrior B. Warrior A, bend through the knees. Virabhadrasana A. You step back and we have our high lunge here again. You can turn down on the ball of the foot. This time, our knee is pointing straight ahead and we have it bent. Turning your body towards the front. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Exhale, sit down, lower into the lunge. Inhale and exhale into Warrior B. We open up our body, looking over your middle finger and continue to breathe. Upper body right over top of the pelvis. Inhale, windmill your right, and then left hand down. Your left foot is in between your hands. We'll come into a twist here. Place your left hand onto the left hip. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, twist your body towards the left side. So coming into our twist, you can remove your left hand from the hip. You could follow your left thumb. So turn your head and looking at your left thumb. The exhale breath coming out. Take your hand back down. Inhale, windmill your right, and then left back up to Warrior B. Exhale, bend through the knees and step right to the left and shift through the hips. We have all that to do on the other side too. So into the left side. Bending through the knees. Step the left foot back. Turn on the ball of the foot. Warrior A. We have to move these lovely hips. So this might be a little bit harder to do. So you can have that foot, back foot at a 45-degree angle. I know my hips are usually pretty tight. So that's not unusual. Okay, so body facing front. Inhale, draw your arms up overhead, and exhale, come into that lunge. Let your shoulders soften. Inhale, come up. Exhale to Warrior B. Looking over your middle finger, upper body right over top of your hips. Right knee pointing straight ahead. Breathing, breathing, breathing. Inhale, breath, windmill your left and then right hand down. Right foot is in between. We hold. Take your right hand onto the right hip. You may come into the twist with me. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale is the twist part. We twist our upper body. You can release your right hand away from the hip. You can follow your hand up towards the sky. Drishis, right thumb, right knee pointing straight ahead. Coming out of the twist, exhale. Inhale, coming back up to warrior B. And exhale, bend through the knees and step left to the right. And at the top of your mat, and we shift. Folding forward with a wide leg. So wide leg, forward fold at the top of your mat. We step back with the right foot again, turning on the ball of the foot. And then turning on your heel, and everyone is facing me. Opening up the legs enough so that you could do a heel toe, but it'll help you get down closer to the floor. That's what we always want. Now, also bending through the knees is going to help have a straight spine, so a flat back. It's harder to have if it's rounding through the back. Sometimes it's harder for your spine. So having that straight spine, it's stronger. Okay, making our way down. Inhale, seek your arms up overhead. And exhale, we fold, so bending those knees enough. Take your hands down towards the ground. Now you have them in line with your feet. So here you might say, oh, I need to heel toe my feet out just a little bit more. So I can have my hands in line with my feet. Elbows towards the back. So inhale, lengthen through the spine, bend the knees enough, and then exhale, fold. The goal is to have the crown of the head down towards the earth. And breathe. Inhale, breath coming out, and step one hand forward and then the other hand forward. We sit over to one side. Now it's into our side lunge here. So bending through the knee that you're sitting over to that side. And now walking your hands over towards the other side, bending through the other knee. Now I have my toes turning out here. And walking back towards the center. You can heel toe your feet in a little bit more here. It'll be easier for you when you get up. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, come up to halfway. Place your hands onto the hips. Inhale all the way up. And then into our back bend here. So coming up, and it's a big arch into the upper part of our back. And exhale, release. Back bends are always very helpful in making you feel happy. It's that lift, the rise. So think of that as we move through our class too. Bending through the knees, and we step to the top of the mat and shift through the body. Into the next pose, which is dancer's pose. And this is a lovely balance pose. And I want you to think of your body as an elastic band. So pulling out in each direction, but also pulling in. Okay, so dancer's pose. You may want to come off of your mat for dancer's pose. If there's something that you want to hang on to, like the ledge, you may do so. So I'll turn kind of on an angle here so you can see what I'm doing. With an inhale breath, or arms come up overhead, root yourself down to the ground, and then exhale. Take your right elbow in towards the waist. Rooting yourself down with the left foot, we pick up the right foot and lift. Now you can hold onto your ankle. You can hold on to your foot from the inner part, outside part. What is going to work for you? Then you remain here and you stand tall. Engage your bandhas, draw that navel in, lift up through the pelvic floor muscles. Elastic band, you may add the forward fold, and you're kicking your leg away, folding forward as you're pulling everything in. So reaching, you may kick your leg higher. And then coming out, and then bend and softness into our other side. So I'll turn this way so you can see me here. Into our other side, stand tall, so you know what's coming now. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Exhale, take your left elbow to the waist. And again, we pick up that foot. You do not have to stand on your mat. Stand on a flat surface. Hold on to the ankle, or you're holding onto the inside or outside of your foot. Draw the navel in, turn inward. Now flexing your foot as you add the kick. So we're folding forward. Right leg is straight. It is stronger with that right leg being straight, and we're kicking higher. Reaching out in both directions as we pull in, strong through your center, through your core. You may kick higher, and then coming back to the center and releasing, and a shift through the body. Fierce pose for our next pose, which we practiced when we made our way into Namaste. We'll practice again. This time, fierce pose, it's adding a twist to each side. Big toes, they may come together, or you can have ankles, knees, and hips in line with each other. Lift up through the pelvic floor muscles. Place your hands to your heart center, and we sit back into our squat. Now notice your squat. The knees are not passing over your toes. It's as if you're sitting back into the chair. Put that support, put the weight into your heels. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, we twist towards the right side. The left knee will want to jut forward. Don't let it. Square those knees, so pull it back. Our waist lengthening. And breathe. Coming out of the twist, exhale, and we can just turn here and let your arms hang. Draw your bottom up towards the sky. Let your head hang and just hold. And just do a little shift. You can bend through the knees. You can say yes with your head, no. Coming out. Inhale, come up to halfway, lift flat back. Exhale, release. Head hangs. Inhale, coming all the way up, arms overhead. Exhale, sitting back into the squat. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, turn, twist your body over to the left side. This time the right knee will want to jut forward, so we're not going to let it. Pull it back. Sit into those heels. Exhale, breath, come out of the twist. Arms hang bottom right up. Let the head hang. And we hold. Just a little nice movement here, or you can hold stillness. Inhale, coming up to halfway. Exhale, release, fold. Inhale, coming all the way up, arms overhead. And exhale, hands to your heart center. We're now halfway through the class, so I feel like we are starting to really become aware of how we are feeling. And how could you not? You have to be. It's like, I want to move through this pose. I want to hold this pose. I want to be nice and strong here. So next pose, it is balance. If you have something that you would like to hold on to, if you have a block or stool or anything, we're coming into, it's half moon. So with our block or whatever you have, a stool, like a step stool, you can use that too, or whatever's gonna work for you. I'm gonna place my block at 11 o'clock. And I shall actually come over to this side, I'm sorry, so that you can see me. No, I won't. It's 11 o'clock. I'll do it this way because it's okay, you can see me still. It is a bend here, and I'm going to adjust where my block needs to be. I'm going to adjust my body. Do I need to step forward? So at 11 o'clock, or sorry, Oh my gosh, 1 o'clock. Okay, it's at 1 o'clock. Oh my God. 1 o'clock on the clock. I add this forward fold, lifting up my left leg. Both legs are straight. Flex the left foot, toes down towards the ground. Okay, adjust your block where it needs to be. You may add a turn towards the left side. Your hand can stay on your leg, or you can release your hand, shooting the energy out through your fingers, your toes pointing towards the side. Coming out, we release. And coming up. That was probably a lot better having the block on the right side. Okay, to the next side. So for this one, now it's at 11 o'clock. And we'll do the same thing for half moon. With that forward fold. Now feel yourself rooted towards the ground. Adjust your block where you'd like it to be. And we pick up the right leg. Both legs are straight. Flex your right toe. So toes down towards the ground. You can hold here. Your hand may be at the side of the body. You can hold onto something with your hand in front. You may add the open, the twist towards the right side. You may take your hand away, shooting the energy up towards the sky. And we hold. Coming out. And lifting. Beautiful. A little shift through our hips. And just placing your prop over to the side. Coming down towards the ground. Moving into Sphinx. So you can come down towards the ground by doing a half of Namaste or coming down to the ground and sitting and however you like. Okay, so you may come with me. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to plank. Chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. And as you notice, I did a little bit quicker, bending through the knees, walk, step, or jump to seated. So of course, you're doing everything on your own time, at your own pace. Take those legs forward, remove the fleshy part from your bottom, sit up nice and tall. Take your hands by the side of the body. Sitting tall, now we do a tiny little tip of the chin and then just a little bit more tip of the chin. Look at your toes pointing up towards the sky. And release. And breathe. Now I said we're coming into Sphinx. Bending through the knees and then into Sphinx. We lie on the belly. Arms forward. Your elbows are underneath of your shoulders. Now your shoulders might want to drop down. We're not going to let them. So we sit up. Pubic bone down, draw your navel in towards your spine. So engage the bandha just below the navel, pull in. Spread your fingers on the mat. Lift up. Drawing your shoulders away from the ears. What are your feet doing? Your glutes are going to naturally contract. Tops of the feet down towards the ground. Exhale breath, we release into Shavasana. The right cheek rests on your mat, arms by the side of the body, and release. So lovely to feel the rise and fall of our belly here. Coming out of Shavasana, take one arm and then the other arm forward. And we make our way back up to child's pose. Now, child's pose, the knees may be forward. If that doesn't work for you, or you want to, of course, you can take your knees up to the sides. You can have your head forward towards the ground. You may have your arms forward or by the sides of the body. Moving out of child's pose. And if child's pose doesn't work for your knees too, come onto the side of the body so that you would be in fetal. Into our next pose is camel pose, sitting on your heels and then standing on your knees. It's the same idea, ankles, knees, hips in line with each other. You could do this standing too if this pose does not work for your knees. So you can stand up and do exactly the same thing. Placing your fingers to the small of your back and your fingers are pointing down towards your bottom, towards your heels. And we stand tall, draw the navel in, engage below the navel and breathe. With an inhale breath for camel, we look up towards the sky into our back bend. You may take one hand with your exhale breath, your palm of your hand coming down to the heel, and then to the other side, taking your hands down and breathe into this big opening through our heart. Arch, we lift. Coming out of the back bend, out of camel, slowly coming back, opposite way that we got down, and then releasing with an exhale, back into child's pose. So there is another back bend there. Throughout the class, we've been doing back bends. Let your forehead rest. I bought a mindfulness calendar this year and I love it so much. And so every day there was a new quote. And the one that the other day that I love this quote. It was about that the more you know who you are and what you want, the less you let things upset you. So that really rang true to me about really knowing what you want and not letting things upset you, because of course we live in a very busy time and lots always going on. And how do we move through the world to help us to find that peace, that harmony, that balance? Coming out of child's pose, make your way into all fours here for tabletop, into cow and then cat. Draw the navel in, lift below your navel that we pull into. Shoulders, draw them down. Inhale towards cow, we draw the tailbone up and draw our heart up towards the sky. And then exhale, cat, big arch. Inhale into cow. Exhale to cat. Inhale to cow. And exhale, cat. Find your neutral spine, the natural S curve of your spine. And then coming over to the side of the body. Over to the side of the body, we face the front of our mat. Remove the fleshy part from your bottom again. Now there's different ways that we can do reverse tabletop here. You may have your fingers here just to the side of the body, and you can tent them and then draw your heart up towards the sky. You can have your knees bent, and being on the heels, it's easier on your spine too. You can draw up, or having your fingers turned, pointing towards your bum, about 3 inches away from your bottom, and draw your heart up here. Again, you can bend the knees. You can take this up a little bit higher with those hips lifting up towards the sky. You can open up your heart, come into a back bend a little bit deeper. With the exhale breath coming out, reverse tabletop. And release. Into hero, and hero might not work for your knees, so I'm just going to show you. You may sit on your heels for hero, or you're going to sit your bottom between your heels. Now, I do like hero, but I'm going to make hero just a little bit more accessible for myself. I'm going to stack my blocks. So you can do that too. You don't actually have to be, it's easier on your knees. And everything easier on your knees, joints, of course, that's what we want. Okay. So you can sit on your blocks. And now I'm taking the pressure off of my knees. And I'm sitting up nice and tall. As soon as I have my hips higher than my knees, it's going to help. And hero, patiently wait in stillness. Coming out of hero, move, and come forward with the hands and then sit over to the side and place your blocks over to the side. Our next pose will be lying on the side of our body and then rolling over to our back. Rolling over to our back, we take one knee and then the other knee in towards the chest. Take your legs up for legs up the wall and point, flex the feet. Take your legs open into a V. If we were in a seated pose and having our legs open into a V, it might not work for you like this one would. So just taking notice of that too. Different ways that we can do it. Upavishta Konasana, if we were seated. Now take the legs back towards the center. And this is a version of eagle, but we're lying down. So we're crossing the right leg over top of the left leg. And then bring your legs down. Just let them dangle. You can take your hands and place them onto your knees here. You can hold onto the ankles. So holding onto your ankles. Coming out of eagle and crossing, we come back into our V. And then to the other side, we cross the left leg over top the right leg, bending through the knees and let your legs dangle. You can hold just onto the knees again or opposite or the ankles. This is an opening into the outside of the hip. Coming out of this cross, we open up our legs back into our V. Bring your legs together, bending through the knees. Take your legs up and over to the left side. The arms in line with the shoulders. Turn your head the opposite way of the knees. Here we let our physical body go. Turn your head back towards the center. Take your legs back towards the center. And now Legs come up and over to the other side. Arms again in line with the shoulders and turn your head. Close your eyes. And we let ourselves go. Release. Turn your head back towards the center. Legs come back towards the center and knees into the chest. Just that balance again. One side and the other side being symmetrical, balanced feeling from the center out. Take your right foot down and left foot down. The next pose is bridge. With bridge, please don't look around, always looking up towards the sky. So if you need to see me, just watch me first, and then you can make your way into bridge, but never looking around and turning your head when you're in bridge. Ankles, we would like them to be close to your bottom. I want to be able to touch my heels here, but just with the fingertips, Ankles, knees, hips in line with each other. You may have a block between your knees or a pillow. It will take off, it will help for relieving any kind of pressure off the lower back. So you could do that and that takes that pressure away. Okay, into bridge. We draw the pelvis up towards the sky and we hold. I'm here, I am drawing, engaging my energy lock. Draw that navel towards the spine. Now you can walk one shoulder and then the other shoulder under. You may intertwine your fingers. The support is on the back of your arms, your shoulders, back of your arms, not your head. You're not pressing your head down into the ground. Letting your arms take that weight, finding that balance, coming out of bridge, releasing your hands, walking your shoulders back, and then floating your pelvis back down towards the floor. Take one knee and then the other knee into the chest and give yourself a squeeze. Rock side to side. You can rock forwards and back for a little massage through the spine. And hold. Happy baby, our next pose, happy baby, turning those knees out towards your armpits. So we turn out, you may hold underneath of the knee pits and you can hold here and then just let go that way, or you can hold onto your ankles outside of the feet, or with your peace fingers, hold onto your big toes. So into happy baby. Nice to be nice and open. We do a little rocking side to side. And we smile because this definitely makes us feel happy with the rocking movement and release our body. Opening up through the pelvis a little bit more. And moving out of happy baby, taking our knees back in towards the center. Float one foot back down to the floor, the other foot down to the floor. Stepping right foot, left foot wider than the knees for a windshield wiper. Now, the arms again, we make them, they come into line with our shoulders. When your knees tip to one side, your head goes to the other. So let's just do a little mobility here. So just turning knees to one side and then the head. We turn it to the other side. And coming back, Step your right foot, left foot in. Roll over to the side of the body. Let your head rest here. Now, both knees bent, so just finding where it's comfortable for you, for your hip. Hopefully that it is okay. Holding onto the right ankle and pelvic tilt. So pelvic tilt, and I'm pressing my hip forward. You can do this into the ground too. So this is a version of half bow. We could do this into the ground, lying on the front of your body. Usually this pose right here, when we're on the side of the body, is more accessible for everyone too. And releasing. Now into the other side. You just can roll over to your other side, but I am going to just turn this way so you can actually see me still. Okay, so holding on to your ankle, pelvic tilt. And now slowly release. Into our final pose, Shavasana. So getting yourself ready for Shavasana, you can do whatever other movement that you would like to do for yourself before Shavasana. I'm just going to change my screen so that you can see. Sorry, so you can see me a little closer. In Shavasana, I'd like you to close your eyes and let your eye sockets feel heavy. Lips part to help let your facial muscles soften. Our breath slows. Call you back when it is time. Slowly starting to come back. Notice your breath. Notice this calmness in your mind and body. Treasuring this feeling. Listening to your voice. Starting to wiggle your toes and fingers. Shift through the body. Now, if you're lying down, you may bend one knee, right knee, and then the left knee, taking your right arm overhead, and then rolling over to your right side to fetal. Take a moment, and then coming up to a comfortable seated position for yourself. You may have your hips higher than the knees, be sitting on a block or two, chair. Placing your hands to your heart center, the sun to the moon, finding your center, harmony and peace from within. Thank you so much for joining me, sharing your practice. Namaste.